Welcome to the Infamous Goats podcast.
I'm Celis,
I'm Josiah.
and this is where we give you our weekly perspective of pop culture, sports, and entertainment.
All right, so Sellers, we got a big episode coming up right now. You want to tell them what's going on?
Yeah, man, we got a special guest. We doing another interview for y'all. Today we got Dan Brosnan, aka the Fan Club. Man, this is a person that I just connected with recently. We linked up at C2E2, man. He just an all around cool guy. Like a big content creator where I'm currently living at, man. And he just been doing his thing, grinding every day. He do this full time and he really making a living off this, and that's something I strive towards, man. I'm glad he was cool enough to come on and talk to us today, y'all.
Yeah, enough with the talk. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, let's bring him in, man. Yo.
What's good?
What's going on, boys? Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
For real, bro. It's our pleasure, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, no problem. I know it's gonna be a good vibe. So what's going on, fellas?
Man, we just chilling, man. Like we still recovering from C2E2, man. My feet hurt.
Oh my God, wrong shoes. Do not wear Jordans at C2E2.
Oh, you might look good, but you won't feel good.
You feel me? Like,
bro, honestly though, the basketball shoes is where it's at. Imagine someone that wore like clogs or some heels or like their bare feet in their costume. Like it was rough on us, but we got like actual basketball shoes. I feel like we were in a better situation than some of these other people. If you looked at their costumes, they was wearing like no support on their feet.
Facts. Like I was looking at some of those cosplays. I'm like, how can you walk around like this for 8 hours?
8 hours. And it was like nothing. It was like 8 o'clock at night. And they still walking around, no limping, no nothing. I'm like, damn, they some strong human beings. Like, I support
They're having a good time too. They're getting attention, taking pictures. Like all that dopamine in their head is numbing them, man. They're having a great time.
Right. What would you rate your whole C2E2 experience?
Ooh. For me personally, because I was only I was an in and out, like I was a bop, if you will. Like I give it an 8 out of 10 because like the only complaints I had nothing to really do with the con. It was just this is for people out there that have never been to C2E2. Like if you go to a giant con like this where there's a guaranteed over 100,000 people going to be there, definitely get the 3-day experience, because if you just go in one day, you're not going to be able to get everything you need to. And I mean, we were there all day Saturday, but we were only there for like 3 hours Sunday. So we were only able to do so much. And when it comes to panels and when it comes to, meeting people and getting interviews, like it's a little bit harder to cram that all in one day because Saturday is the biggest day. You don't get too many interviews on Saturday just because everyone's trying to make money. I know if I was a celebrity, I'd be trying to get that autograph money on Saturday, so I get it. But honestly, I had a great time. Like, did I get to go to every panel I wanted to? No, but I wasn't actually upset because there's so many different things to do. If this was like a smaller Comic-Con or medium one, and I wasn't able to do everything, yeah, I'd be a little bit sad because there are only so many opportunities. But here, like, oh my God, there are 1,001 things going on at this con, which is nice. So if you miss this, you can make it up a little later with something else.
Right, exactly. That's how it was with the panels, because Sellers, he made the Zachary Levi panel, and I missed that one. But what he was doing, he was getting like some footage from celebrities, and I was like downstairs on the floor just meeting people. I met so many creative people from C2E2, from like artists, from authors, from clothing designs. I met all of them, and all the people, like, they're average Joes just like us, and it's like they got a story to tell. That was like one of my favorite parts of C2E2.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I love that. Yeah, the panels are crazy because this one is one that like I forgot. I went in like 2020, but now that I remember, like even the Green Arrow Stefan Amell, like he was there, and his panel, we got there like 30 minutes before and it was full. And I kind of forgot about that, how it was, because I know C2E2 is nuts when it comes to this panels, because these rooms only hold so many people and there's 200,000 people outside the door. It's just freaking nuts. So, and for anyone out there that's never been to cons before, definitely, if you can, go check out the panel, especially if you're a creator, because you find out a bunch of like inside information. Like, good example, I broke some Power Ranger news this week on my channel because I attended the Johnny Young Bosch.
I saw that. Yeah, I watched that video,
and it was fun, and we got a few thousand views out of that video. So it's kind of nice when you're covering things, and especially like me, I'm like a Power Rangers channel. So anything to do with Power Rangers, I'm trying to head there because I'm always finding out some information. And it's crazy how much like just being around the actors just will give you little tidbits of information. It's awesome.
Man, it's crazy you mentioned Power Rangers, bro. Like, look at like your setup is crazy, bro. Like, can we mention that for a second? And you got the whole like, man, like that's inspiration right there. I need to get my shit right.
Oh yeah. It for real. And this took years. Like this summer will be like 6 years of the fan club. And we started with just a couple figures. And I think the only thing still standing from the beginning is this sign. And I think this Switch box has been here for a few years, but that's everything else over time. We just kind of, have fun with them. That's what's awesome about these type of projects is, you start with a camera, you start with a decent backdrop, and then over time you'll upgrade it. I know, like I have, and that's what's fun about these type of projects. I'm excited to see like what your guys' setup will look like in a year or two.
Man, mine's coming together. Just give me a few more months. There's gonna be some more parts coming in and out. But I wanted to touch on the Power Rangers, bro, because I used to be a huge Power Rangers fan. And I know that's what you like base your content off of. And I think for me, my introduction to Power Rangers was that first movie, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then I started watching the show. Bro, that movie, man, like it was intense from the beginning. When they skydiving in the beginning, bro, like, man, Ivan Ooze, man, I love that movie. What did you think of it?
Oh, the OG 95, that was like the best movie because they got straight to the action. They weren't trying to like build up a story. They were trying to get you right into the story right away. So that's why it was probably the best one, because in the first 20 minutes, these guys are jumping out of planes. They're rollerblading. They're fighting like two sets of monsters with like out of suit. And then
those fight scenes is crazy.
And then Ivan Ooze comes in and destroys the whole command center. It's like the Brady Bunch reunion. Like this dude was on some bullshit right away, which was awesome. And I think a lot of the movies after that kind of like, I hate when you watch somebody make a movie and you can tell that they haven't watched the show or they didn't watch the last movie, because the last few movies we've had with Power Rangers, like the Turbo movie in 97 and then the 2017 movie, it took them like an hour and a half to get to the action, and they're trying to build this whole plot. And it's like, it's Power Rangers, though. We already know what's going to happen. That's why I like the Into the Spider-Verse so much, because they kind of played with that. Like, we're Spider-Man. Y'all heard about Spider-Man, but this is my story. Like, like it was just got right to the shits, because that's what people, we know what a Power Ranger does. Even people that don't know Power Rangers know, they're human and then they go into a suit, So like, it could take you 10 minutes to explain that and then get into a movie. The problem is with the 2017 movie too, is I felt
that's Saban's, right? The Saban's Power Rangers.
Saban. Yeah. So Saban, it's crazy kind of how things went. So Saban had the brand from 1993 until 2002 when he sold it to Disney, right? Listen to this. This is an ultimate flex kind of fumbling the bag and then getting it back type. So he sells it for like hundreds of millions to Disney. Disney didn't know what to do with this. They never put it on the Disney Channel. They always put it on like your Jetix, your ABC Family type thing. And after like 10 years, 9 years, they were done with it. Saban buys it back for a fourth of what he sold it for.
Damn.
So then he gets it back and he kind of runs it into the ground. He says, we're going back to 1993. And this is in like 2012, 2011. He's like, we're doing it just like we did in the 90s. And tell you the truth, that was awful. That was not the way to go, because they were playing on like this whole Bulk and Skull thing. Like, you guys know Bulk and Skull. Look,
yeah, I know.
Like every season they had a new type of Bulk and Skull, but they weren't Bulk and Skull. It was just two idiots. And every episode, like you could watch all of the episodes out of order besides the first and the last, and it wouldn't matter. there was no continuity and the show just got awful. Like it was on Nickelodeon and it went from getting like hundreds of millions of streams in like 2011 when it popped to the last year on Nickelodeon, it was getting like 200,000 plays on Saturday. So it was interesting. Now it's on Netflix.
That's a big drop.
Hasbro has it now and it's in a better place because when Saban had it, I tried to do fan club videos like the last few years with like Ninja Steel and stuff. I couldn't do it, man. I thought the suits looked really cool, but the show was bad. Once Hasbro purchased it and then gave us like Power Rangers, Beast Morphers, and Dino Fury, like now I like it again because the story, you have to watch every episode in order. There's some really badass characters like in Dino Fury, guys. Like we got the first ever Black Gold Ranger Ion, and he is so cool, man. He's like my favorite Ranger. And then you got Zato. He's a Black Red Ranger. And we've never seen ever like the leader and the Sixth Ranger come on in, and they are my favorite characters, bro. You guys need to watch this. Like it's the best. And I know you guys will appreciate that. That's why I was like,
nah, bro. I definitely Power Rangers is like that's something I grew up on.
And it's go ahead.
I was say, like I used to watch Power Rangers like as a kid. Like them Saturday mornings, you watching like TV like with a bowl of cereal. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Now, like if I like wanted to like get caught back up on Power Rangers, where do you recommend me for start? Like, recommend me to start.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy because I was just about to make like an episode guide type episode to be like, hey, are you guys interested in Once and Always? Would you like to kind of get a crash course? So long story short, and it depends how much time you actually have, but I would watch the first couple episodes of Power Rangers. I believe episode 1 is Day of the Dumpster. So that like gives you a 20-minute crash course on how the Power Rangers got their powers. I think episode 2 is the Yellow Ranger Trini story arc. And in Once and Always, that's where she kind of died. The Yellow Ranger is kind of dying in this new special. And it kind of pays tribute to Tweed Trang, the actress that played Trini, because she passed away in a car crash in 2001. So watch the first 2 episodes of that. Then also watch, I think it's season 2. It's like the power transfer where like Zach, Jason, and Trini go to the peace conference, and then along comes in Adam, Rocky, and Aisha, and that was actually all about a pay dispute. Like the basically the red, black, and yellow Ranger, they wanted to get paid more money. Like it was season 2 of Power Rangers, and this is like $1 billion brand. Like it's the number one kids.
That's
show.
when the renegotiation started.
Money, and that created a big divide in the middle because three of the Rangers were like adamant about it. The other 3 are like, yo, you know what? We're just here for the opportunity. We're going to see where it goes. And if all of them would have said that they demanded like a full, improvement of pay and kind of conditions, I don't think they could have fired all 6 of them. But when 3 of them only came out, Saban, he's the cheapest guy I know out there in production. He's like, you know what? No, we're just going to recast you. And then after a few years of doing that, he figured out, I could just do what the Super Sentai does. And every year just have a new season. That way I can take advantage of these actors, because none of the actors on Power Rangers for years weren't getting paid because it was like a non-union job. We're like, and there's pros and cons to it because so technically all these young kids are little 18, 19-year-olds looking for their first, big job. So they're like, we'll give it to you, but we're going to take advantage of you at the same time.
Right. Because they're not really like paying attention to like, yo, this is my opportunity to make it big time in Hollywood, like not knowing that they probably get fucked in the long run. Like,
what was the Screen Actors Guild for this, man?
Yeah, well, and that's what the union is. The SAG, yep, that's and basically, if you're part of SAG, you can't do Power Rangers. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, SAG kind of was going after Saban and coming and basically saying, you can't work for Power Rangers under us because they treat their people like crap and they don't want to work with us. So don't work with them type stuff. And that's one thing I've heard that's improving with Hasbro, because Hasbro's got a bunch of big brands. Like when Saban had Power Rangers, that was its big brand. Power Rangers, that was it. He didn't have, I think for a little bit he had Digimon, he had a few other things, but nothing even comparable. With Hasbro, what do you got? You got Transformers, G.I. Joe, you got like My Little Pony, like a bunch of big brands which I mean, the con to that is Power Rangers doesn't always get the full attention, but I don't feel like Hasbro as a company is going bankrupt. Like Saban makes a bunch of bad business deals. There's no more Power Rangers. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So something to think about.
I wanted to touch on one of the OG Power Rangers that's gonna be missing from Once and Always, and that's Jason David Frank. He's probably the most famous Power Ranger. He played Tommy. And
he was definitely like the Michael Jordan of the Power Rangers. He was just around the most, made the most money, had the coolest lines. Yeah, definitely.
Man, he was a great martial artist. Man, what are your thoughts on his death, man?
It's shitty. And he was a guy though. If you watched him, I met him multiple times. Got to go to his panels. That's why I always say, your favorite person has a panel, you go to that shit because you never know when they're going to be gone. And I met him multiple times, but it's like going to the panels, you got to really see him. Now, the first panel I ever went to of his, it wasn't even a panel. It was a freaking karate class. And my son was in kindergarten. So I got to take him to JDF's karate class, bro. And there's still a video on his Instagram of us doing kicks. And it was fun. And he was super nice. I remember the first time I met him, he just came up to us and he gave us a bunch of JDF gear, because my son was wearing a Power Ranger costume. And he's like, oh, here you go, buddy. Here's autograph. He gave him just free stuff right away. And then we went back up to his table to get some autographed figures anyways. But dude was super nice. But he was battling his own demons. Anyone that knew him, and he made a lot of videos talking about depression. He lost his mom, and it didn't really sit with him well. And I don't know about the whole situation. I don't want to talk too much about how his death happened, just because I don't know, but it just something smells fishy about that though. Something's just not right about that. Not saying did he kill himself? Probably that's probably a thing that happened, but it's just very, very weird. The more that you go down that rabbit hole, the more that kind of, it's cringy, man. And but what's awesome about it though is I do see the community as a whole has kind of came together. It kind of sucks that it takes something so shitty to kind of us to wrap around, but that happens. There's a death in the family. Sometimes people come together and realize that, hey, we're not all that bad. We might have been beefing about this. We might have had that, but you know what? We're all one. And that's kind of helped the Ranger community a little bit. And I've also seen some actresses and actors out there that don't usually come out to cons, like Amy Jo Johnson, show up a lot more. Like the original Pink Ranger, she only usually does a couple cons a year. And since JDF's death, I've seen her have an uptick in con appearances. So that's kind of cool.
Man, yeah, man, that's crazy that what happened to him, man. I'm glad that he gave the fans one final wish, and that was the Legend of the White Dragon. And I wanted to talk about that, man. Josiah, he made one final film, and it's it's a different take on a Power Ranger, but a whole nother universe and more violent. He made it with Bat in the Sun. You got more insight on it, Dan. Can you just describe it to him?
Yes. So Bat in the Sun was a project Legend of the White Dragon was a project that they were working on for, I want to say 4 or 5 years now. So I want to say it was 2016, 2017. They had a Kickstarter project. And I remember right away, it was JDF, his daughter, Jenna, and, Jason Font, the Red Time Force Ranger. I remember they were working on a little trailer. Well, they got way more crowdfunding than I thought. I think they had $100,000 goal, and they ended up getting $500,000 in there. Well, then I heard that an investor came along and was like, okay, if I see the fans were able to give you guys $500,000 for this, I think there's an in. They took it to the next level and made this thing a full movie. So that and that's what I'm really excited about. Now, I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's going to be like, I won't call it a B movie, but I don't know if it's going to be like on the budget of like, your Star Wars, your Marvel, but it looked pretty decent. And what I liked about it was there were some decent actors out. I don't know if you guys got to see the trailer, but I know
I saw the trailer.
Yeah, King Bach, is that his name?
Yeah, King Bach.
Canadian?
Yeah, and I seen they got the guy from Arrow, David Ramsey.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was cool. And then they had a few more Power Ranger
Mark
actors.
he's in
I was surprised to see how many people were in this project, bro.
All right, so like with this new project coming out, do you see like Power Rangers like getting like a new like universe started or like a new path started?
Yes. So Legend of the White Dragon is like a completely different thing than like the Power Rangers market. It has nothing to do with Hasbro, nothing like that. But that is actually going to be a little teaser. Like Hasbro's watching that to see what the people react to it, how they like it, they don't like it, because we have Once and Always coming out. I think it's like 11 days away. April 19th. It's that Power Ranger special. Long story short, it's a 55-minute episode of Power Rangers, pretty much. So don't expect this thing to be a high blockbuster movie or nothing like that. They're bringing back a bunch of the old cast members from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So you're going to see like a 55-minute reunion episode where they come back. Rita Repulsa is back as a robot, and she's basically out here like a bounty hunter capturing Rangers. And now you see like Billy come back, Zach, Rocky, Cat. You see Alpha, new command center. It's pretty dope. But I know a lot of people's negative opinions. Like you either love it because it has that Power Rangers cheesy aesthetic. Like it doesn't look like they spent $1 million on this. And at the Johnny Young Bosch panel, he said, hey, Netflix felt like they were taking a small risk. They don't know if the fans are going to show up or show out to this. So go ahead and support. And they've already talked about giving it like a 10 episode series or something. This is like a teaser. So you guys go out there, support. We'll get more episodes. We'll get more of a budget. Then we have Power Rangers Cosmic Fury coming out in the fall. And this is the first time ever, because they did it with Mighty Morphin, but it wasn't the same cast. By like season 3, it was a different cast than the first season. But this is the first time that you're getting 3 seasons with the same group of Rangers. These guys right here, the Dino Fury team with like the guys I was just telling you about, they're coming back for 10 more episodes, and it's called Cosmic Fury. And it's basically like, it's going to be just 10 episodes, a giant build up, one giant plot, and we're going out with a bang. All I was told is that this thing is going to be nuts. And then moving forward, to go to your point, bro, we're actually going to get this universe from Jonathan Entwistle for Netflix. I've heard it's going to be like a TV-14 type of thing. And that's why we need to see what happens with Legends of the White Dragon, see what the fans like, what they don't like, because with this new universe, Jonathan Entwistle said that it's going to be a new universe, but with familiar faces. So that could mean a couple things. That could mean like we're having a couple of the actors come back to play different people, or you could see like a Zordon or an Alpha or something, but it's in a new environment. I'm kind of, I don't know exactly what they're doing, because this Entwistle project has been talked about for like 2-3 years now, but it's still in it. They're still working on it. So I'm kind of wondering when we're going to hear more about that. But for this year, Power Ranger fans, you got Once and Always coming out in like a week and a half, and Cosmic Fury in the fall. So I feel like there's still stuff to get your attention.
Yeah, man. And I definitely can't wait for Once and Always. I watched the trailer for that, and that was a little collab we did on your channel. Yeah, man, that definitely. I'm excited for that. And the way Johnny Young Bosch described it, you're right. I hope the fans show out for this, because I feel like Hollywood is really touching on nostalgia, and for the Power Rangers to do that now, they need a show to do. They need a full season to really like grab fans' attention and bring all those characters back and create like new stories. And I know you got like a lot of insight on this because you've been doing this a long time, bro. But like, take me through day one. You was like, I want to do YouTube. I want to be a YouTuber. What was that process like?
So I think me and my buddies had this idea, like I want to say it was 2017, like in I want to say June or July. We were talking, and I had this room that was more like a music studio, but I was trying to I had a buddy that was way better of a producer than me. I'm like, yo, I'll just go to him, and then I could still use my equipment to do something else. What can I do with this? And and a few buddies that were like, yo, we should come together and make something. And I was kind of like the head guy, was putting it together, would have the buddies come over type stuff. But then crazily, like two of like my best friends ended up moving, and we're still buddies. Like we were hanging out last night. Like we have a lot of fun, but they're not in town anymore. They both moved to different parts of Wisconsin, and that kind of throws a wrench into things. So like in the first year, I want to say like it just turned into a me thing. Like after a couple months of making videos together, it just became a thing where I didn't want to stop. Like I liked it. And right away, I think I kept a lot of my old videos from 6 years ago because I just want to kind of see the progression. But we were making music reviews. We were making videos about pretty much anything, man. Because you want to test the water and see what you're good at, what you don't like. We were doing sports too, like you name it. We were talking about it until I realized, I don't know, it was a couple years in that my Power Ranger videos, whenever I talked about this, it would just get way more views. Like it was something that I grew up with. I watched like maybe every episode of the first like 7-8 seasons because I kind of grew up with the show. And then as time went on, I got better at talking in front of camera, better editing videos. And the better I got, the more time I put into the Power Ranger stuff, it just seemed like the videos were just, the views were always going up. Even when I first started, I'd do a video about a sports topic, pop culture that wasn't Power Rangers, just anything that wasn't Power Rangers, you'd get like 100 views. But then when I did like a Power Ranger video, I would get like 1,000 views. And it would be weird because I knew that I liked Power Rangers probably more than a lot of these other topics I was talking about, and I knew more about it. So I think the passion for it comes out. And that's what I learned. Like, if you like something, become an expert on it and then start your show, because then people will get into you being into it, and they'll be like, yo, I can relate. Like a lot of people watch my channel because I just seem like a normal person that likes Power Rangers. You know, they're just like, oh, like you kind of remind me of me. Like sometimes it's cool. Like there's all a nerd inside all of us. And sometimes we're scared to let it out. I don't care. Like I'm a wedding DJ every weekend. I'm just going crazy, trying to get people pumped up. Like you can't really care what people think of you in this business, because if you do, you won't be in it long. It will break your ass.
Yeah, you're right, man. I think we in that phase now that you described, like where we trying different things, like with different content and seeing what the people like, and like trying to figure out what our channel is all about.
Right. And exactly. Because right away it's hard just to do content like you guys just talking about random topics, instead of like you have to talk about what's trending and things that are like going to get views right away. Like you couldn't just make a video and be like, here's our thoughts on women, or here's our thoughts on the sky, or here's our thought. Like you have to do something that people are going to click when you're first starting off. So that's why you're right. I was doing so many trailer reactions, video, like whatever new song would come out, I'd review it. Albums come. I remember first couple, we were doing album reviews. I was freaking listening to Taylor Swift albums and giving reviews. Like I was doing hip hop is my forte, but like the first few years, like the big Taylor Swift's coming out, that might give me some views, right? You
gotta milk it, man.
Yeah, you just gotta try new things. You want like stepping out of your comfort zone just to see like, all right, where can I fit in at? Like, exactly. Like, yeah.
And then it ended up coming right back to my comfort zone, something that was good, something I already knew about. So it's interesting how that all works. But sometimes you try a bunch of different things, see what works, see what the audience likes. And then it might be something right under your nose. Like, we are good at that. We do like, so it's interesting. Everyone has their thing. and their niche, especially with YouTube, because YouTube there's 1,001 topics about everything. So, and that's what I was struggling with when I was doing like Marvel and DC. Like it's so overpopulated with videos. I was struggling with that. So like if I did like a Power Ranger video, it'd get like 5,000 views. But if I did a Marvel video, it would do like 200 views because there's so many like videos about the new, Shazam movie or the new Ant-Man movie. It's difficult, but if you can build a fan base with Marvel or DC, you're going to do a lot better than building a fan base of Power Ranger fans because there's more. So it's harder, but if you can build it, you'll get more out of it. It's like an NBA channel. It's pretty hard to always carve out like an NBA or NFL channel, but if you can, we're talking millions of people that will tune in because there's millions of fans, right? So kind of interesting thing to think about, but like anything can be carved out these days. I'm paying my bills from Power Ranger videos. So like you guys can do whatever you want.
That's goals right there, man.
That's insane right there. Yeah. Well, I feel like what you basically saying is like, your passion is really like authenticity. Like it's really authentic. Like, so
if
like
you're
you
not
probably
yourself, they will eat you up. If you don't know what you're talking about or ain't passionate about it, the fans will eat you up in the comments. It happened to me one time. I tried to make a video about the new Jackass movie that came out like a year or two ago, and I messed up something. I called Dirty Grandpa Uncle Grandpa, like the cartoon. Oh no. I had 30 people, like one person's like, this is what's wrong with today's kids. They don't know their information.
my God.
You gotta come correct on
they definitely man. I'm telling you, they be cooking me in the comments like with some of my NBA takes. I ain't gonna lie, like,
oh my God.
I said a bullshit take this one time about Demonis Sabonis, and bro, they started going in on me.
Oh, they did not let that man breathe.
Yeah, they was like, I couldn't even get my sentence out. All kind of shit.
You got to take it too, because then just learn, just learn, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's actually pretty funny as they let you know, and then you're like, you know what? I'm probably not gonna make a video about that no more, or I'll come correct. I'll learn a little bit more.
Right.
When you're doing topics you don't know much about, it is good to do a little reading or watching like a YouTube video of 411 to get a little bit of information, because that's happened to me a couple of times. But that's the process. You're gonna mess up. You don't get good by just starting good and staying good. You gotta mess up a few times.
As things started to take off for you, I know you're like 25, 26K subs right now. Like, did your mindset change on the work ethic you needed to put in to continue to be successful on your channel?
Yes, I realized kind of what was happening and was in kind of some seize the moment opportunities. Like when I first kind of started making videos that were popping off, I was trying to make way more. It was like, we just got to follow this up, keep it going. And I ended up really getting into the habit of making videos every single day. And then once I saw what was happening, I started making multiple videos a day. And I realized that I was like, by pushing out way more content than everybody else, my numbers were starting to kind of avalanche. And since I was part of the monetization program, not only was I making money, but like YouTube's making money off of your videos. They get a cut off of the ad revenue too. Well, if I'm pushing videos multiple times every single day compared to the other YouTubers, who do you think they're going to mention videos and recommend more, right? It's like a benefit. Like they reward you the more that you kind of show up on their platform. Same thing with Facebook. That's where I learned it from. We went viral multiple times on our Facebook page from little memes and stuff like that. And it was the same thing over there. The more that you put in 4 or 5 posts a day, the more they were showing up in other people's feeds. If you only posted once a week or once a video a week, no one would see it. It would be like, it would be hidden. But if you posted every day, like all these platforms kind of reward you and put them more in the algorithm, because like they want creators coming to their platform every single day. It helps their platform out.
Yeah, facts, man. I think this whole YouTube thing we learning now, like that's what we try to do. We try to stay consistent and try to like lump sum with the different content. That's why I think what we figuring out now is reactions are starting to be our most popular content on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
so double down and find out what you like. And you're still at the time where you can keep on messing around with different things. It's good. And there's some channels that do multiple things. But when you really figure out, like, once you start to really grow, and you'll like, what's kind of cool is your videos, your content, it all has a story. Like what your fan base is into, they'll let you know. They'll so like it will just be like if you do multiple videos about, like, let's just say boxing, and they have way more videos or way more views than everything else, you guys will kind of start to do more boxing videos, right? And then over time, if you see that every boxing video is making money for you, then I guess we're going to be a boxing channel, right? That's kind of how it works. Yeah. But right now, keep trying everything, bro. Reactions are awesome. Going to the cons, and that's something where even me, I do a lot of Power Ranger stuff, and then my con stuff, the views don't hit as much always as my Power Ranger content, unless I get some Power Ranger interview, stuff like that. But it's always good to feature that stuff on there, and you never know what cosplay video, what panel video will blow up for you one day. So it's always good to touch down at cons and get some type of stuff, because sometimes people are on there, like at C2E2, you had 200,000 people there at least. So they're probably going onto YouTube trying to, relive some of those moments. So it's smart for creators like us to put that out there, even if that's not your wheelhouse.
Yeah, we got some special videos coming for that C2E2, man. We definitely put like some high level production into the content that we filmed in Chicago.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you guys went crazy.
Yeah, but so, like, what was you about to say? Just say?
Oh no, I was gonna ask that. So and like during your grinding process, starting up the YouTube channel, did you feel like any pressure, like outside of life too? Because like everybody got a life outside of the internet. Like, did you ever find like it hard to like compartmentalize everything?
Yeah, I think. Well, okay, so like I come from being like a musician creator already. So it was always like you always set some time away to do your thing. But I do think at first it was, you're doing this in 2017, making Power Ranger videos. It wasn't the norm. Like now, I like the first few years when I told people like I was a YouTuber, it was a little like, oh, okay. I was like telling people I was a rapper in 2005. Like it's very, very like, oh, okay. Like, but as time went on, you went to live with that and put it as your badge. No, I'm a YouTuber. Like you might think it's something, but it's this, and it was kind of living with that. And you're right. Like I'm a dad to 2 kids. I'm a husband. And at first I had a full-time job. So that was the thing that I guess at one point, I guess I didn't bring up. I had to just 2 years ago, I had to just quit my job. I couldn't do the full-time thing anymore because I needed to treat my business like a 9 to 5, but I also have many hustles. I run a successful DJ and photo booth business on the weekends. I have multiple businesses that pay me to run their social media platforms. I sell toys. Then I got the fan club. I do a bunch of things to kind of support myself, but during the week, I'm doing a lot of fan club stuff. I'm doing a lot of videos and content for that because the ceiling for that is so high to me. Like if you get a platform, 100, 200,000 subs and you're like every day pushing that, you can make a lot of money off that. So that's kind of something, but it's not just about the money. You have to be in love with it and love the process and have fun. Because if you don't like this, you're not going to go far, or you'll fizzle out eventually. It's just like with the music scene. I met so many rappers and artists that like were in it for a little bit, and then they get the fame, they get the show, they get the mixtape, and then after a year or two, they're done. Like I still do music because I love it. Like it's part of me. It's part of the culture. Like Power Rangers and stuff. That was probably one of the first things I ever loved besides my parents' type stuff, so that's something I'm going to like. I always will like that. Even if I don't necessarily like what they're doing now, I'll always have good feelings towards the old stuff.
And I want to touch on the music now that you mentioned that, because I noticed you do like rap on the side as well. Yeah. Like that's just another thing you got in your bag.
DJ, rap, like battle rap champion. Crap, we've opened up for a bunch of major artists. Like what we do, Kid Ink. We did the Yin Yang Twins twice. Twista, Do or Die, like we were out there making a bunch of moves, man. Like and 2020 really screwed us up, bro. Like we had so in like the first week of February we had the Yin Yang Twins concert, and like that was all we sold that out at the Q Casino, and awesome. And then we had Dubuque Fest lined up, we had Flow Rider lined up, we had like all these opening opportunities all lined up, and like a bunch of cool things that were gonna happen. And then COVID hit, and since Bone Thugs too, a bunch of fun stuff. COVID hit, we never really got any more hip-hop opportunities for us. And we've done local shows, and we do the Words Wednesdays at Esther's, with it's like me and a live band, and we're freestyling, having fun. Like I don't do much battles. No, we did a battle about 6 months ago. I finished second. Damn it, Max Khalifa got me in the finals. Still a little salty about it, but that's okay. It's a battle. Someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose. But yeah, it was fun. And I pretty much anything with hip hop in the area, I always try to come and support and help, because I love it. Like I'm like the white boy of hip hop, but I've been really integrated in the culture from a young age. Like I felt like I needed to do more research than other people, because I was almost a guest, as you will, in hip hop. Like, so I felt like and back in the day, at least back when I was growing up, if you wanted to be good at hip hop, you needed to know who came before you, like, and respect that. And a lot of people, that doesn't even matter anymore to a lot of the younger generation, but I don't know. I think it's cool. Like even with sports, like if you're trying to be the next greatest shooting guard, I think it'd be good to go look at Michael Jordan and Ray Allen and other people before these guys. So, something to look at.
What gives you the strong love for hip hop that you decided to make music on your own? Like where did that passion come from? Because I know you got the YouTube thing, like you got the passion for that. And where did the passion for like music? Like I want to DJ, I want to rap.
It's that very young age, just expressing myself. And I love and man, like we all come up from shitty situations and we make them good, but like I related to the struggle of hip hop a lot more than the party and rock and other like pop song. Like definitely like when I was listening to music, like I never really knew my dad, and we didn't live in a very good situation. Like one winter, our hot water heater went out, so to take baths, we had to heat up water on the stove. Like I definitely like the trap, those stories, even though I didn't always live that style life, I lived that style life. Like I related to that more. Like I did. So like it was more of and expressing yourself. Like so hip hop was very like I think the first few moments of hip hop, I was like 5 or 6, and it was more commercial stuff like Coolio's Gangster's Paradise. By the age of 5, I knew every word of that. Still do. Like we cover that with the band sometimes just because it's a vibe. And then really got into Tupac, Biggie. Like that was something like I love like the hip hop I got to listen to now because of like the Wayne years and all that fun time. But like definitely like I wish I got to see like the Tupac Biggie beef like live. That was always my thing. I loved Pac as a kid. But as a kid too, though, I like pop music too. Like can't lie. I liked NSYNC and Backstreet Boys too. I liked a little bit of everything. I didn't really like country as a kid. But yeah, I was into a little bit of everything. But as I want to say I hit like 6th grade, 5th grade, it was like once I really got into Eminem, like, and listened to a lot of that, just not like, because every kid had like a stage where they listened to Eminem for a little bit, but I like got really into Eminem, where I was listening to all the discographies, like everything. And then I just started listening to everything. And once I found like Lil Wayne and Chamillionaire, those were my 2 favorites for a very long time. Chamillionaire and Lil Wayne, because they're punchlines. I love those damn punchlines with the guys. They were just punch kings, man. I loved them. And Chamillionaire doesn't really make that much music no more because he's running these companies. He's like one of those guys that fell off musically, but he didn't fall off money-wise. He's richer now than he was being a rapper. But and then you got Lil Wayne that he still just comes up with a good verse every once in a while. I love Wayne, but like his little like 8-year window that he had was unmatched to me. Like it was just he really changed the game. He showed people that, like, hey, the label doesn't want to put out an album. Why don't you put out like 6 mixtapes that year? Like, they was just make people's songs better. Like, take Ice Cream Paint Job. You can't tell me
Oh my God.
I know who sung Ice Cream Paint Job, but most people don't. They say Lil Wayne. You know, like, he was killing people's verses. So like, that was very inspiring to me. Even if you listen to my music, you will find some Lil Wayne, like, not references, but you'll hear that in there. You'll hear a lot of Chamillionaire and Lil Wayne in my raps because I love that. I like the South, man. Like the South, the like New Orleans, even Houston. Houston at one time was my favorite like rap movement. That was the best, dude. Like Chopped and Screwed and like that whole like Mike Jones.
I remember that whole
Paul Wall. Oh, I love that shit. That was a fun era, dude.
Oh man, you and your Optimus Prime, bro.
And oh yeah, that was a fun little project. Did that video with hockey. That was fun.
Yeah, bro. All right, before we take it out, bro, I just wanted to ask you one last thing. And like, what would you say to all the aspiring creators out there who like us creating content and hope to like one day take off with it?
I will tell you something that I learned years ago that really helps. You don't need to go to no college, no school, guys. You just need 2 things. Hard work and people skills. They will get you through most things. So be friendly, be nice to people, because I've learned this. And in the con industry, I've given a lot of interviews. I've seen a lot of people. The people that are always coming back to con shows, these C-class, B-class celebrities, it's the ones that treat people good. If you're an asshole, you're not going to be in the game very long, you know? And if you can be the fun guy on YouTube or at the con or whatever, people will remember that. The other thing is just like we forget about because we have phones and computers, but hard work, man. If you put the work in, you're going to learn so much. Like, I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't know how to do anything. In the first 3 years, I was editing on my phone until I felt comfortable enough to upgrade to the computer. And there's levels to it. And that's what's kind of nice about YouTube is you can start with just a crappy setup, you know, your camera that's built into your computer, get you a little snowball mic or something, you know, like maybe spend $100. And then over time, once you get better as a person on there, okay, well, now that I'm for real, now I'll buy a better camera. That gets better. Like your editing will get better. So I will say nothing will beat the hard work and the people skills, because eventually, if you want to work with people, that's where the people skills come in. So just 2 easy things that are just, you can have. And I guess anyone can be like, oh, I guess anyone could say work hard. But the thing is about this is the more you put in is the more you're going to get out. So if you're making multiple things, you're not only going to get more views, but you're going to get more time on how to do it. Like because I make so many videos a week, I feel like my content over time is upgrading a lot faster than other people's, because I'm getting paid more because I'm putting out more, and 2, I'm just have more experience. So like I went from editing 0 videos, having no clue of what I'm doing, to actually making some pretty cool looking content. So I guess the more you put in, the more you're going to get out monetary wise and experience, right?
Man, you definitely right, bro, man. Well, we appreciate you for coming on here today, bro. Yeah, we definitely got to link up again soon, man.
Oh, for
appreciate
real.
all
for
the
real.
game you gave today, bro. We definitely learned a lot, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. And I try to do that too. When you've got people that actually are out there that want, you know, to get better, I'm going to give you guys the free game, man. I don't care about that. And the way I see it is everything's a monopoly. If I can give my homies some advice and they get on, we all get on. Now we're part of the monopoly. We can be part of it. You're never going to bring everything down, right? You got to, you just got to build it. You just got to build your own empire and be part of the shits. Exactly.
Man,
yeah.
All right, man. We'll catch you later, bro. We're going to go ahead and close this thing out, bro. All right.
Thanks for your time, man. Nice meeting you, man.
Right,
hey, you too, man. It was a great time.
Thank you. Damn, man, that was a good ass episode, bro.
It was, yeah. He went on his little rants. But think about his rants. He was actually like giving knowledge on his rants. Yeah, so man. It's like,
man, like I definitely feel like he gave a lot of game on the YouTube business. On like, he's like being consistent with your content and figuring out like what what the audience like and playing into that.
For sure. Yeah. So cool ass dude, great ass dude. Seemed like actually my first time meeting was at C2E2, and he seemed like a genuine ass dude. He seemed like a genuine ass dude, and shit, I'm just glad that you met him. We got him on the show, and I got to pick his brain a little bit more. And shit, I hope to like collab with him in the future, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, man, we definitely gotta link up with him soon, and to reiterate that, we appreciate you coming on, bro. Not a lot of niggas with that many subscribers, but it came on to a channel that's small. You feel me?
You feel me? So yeah, real one for that.
For real. That's gonna do it for us today, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Infamous Ghost Podcast, and you can follow us on Instagram at Infamous Ghost Pod.
And follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Infamous Goats. Until then, we see y'all next week.
Peace.